Menley. Kickoff is 1 o'clock on Saturday at Lincoln Financial Field. It is senior day, and seniors will be here later. We'll start with questions for Coach Golden.
Coach, on this senior day, how special is this one in your fourth year?
Well, this is obviously a special group because they've meant so much to our program and they endured so much. Not only did they go 1-16 in their first 17 games, but guys like Dom Harris and Devin Tyler, I think, went 1-21 in their first 22. So you can imagine how special it is for them. They've had handled so much adversity with class and grace, and now they're handling some prosperity with the same dignity. So it's a very special group, and obviously one that's meant a lot to our program.
Coach Mike Mazzio from the Daily News. What was the message you tried to instill in these kids, even when they're going 1-16? What was the one thing you told them to try and lift their spirit, keep their spirits up?
I can tell you this, Mike, it's the same thing I'm trying to teach them right now, and that is it's a process. And if you learn this process and you set good goals, then the outcome will take care of itself. And we're not going to abandon that now. And that's a life lesson, you know. I feel like that's something that I personally do well. I don't listen to adversity. I don't listen to the critics or the skeptics. I think that's something that, as a staff, we've done well. And then I think, obviously, the young people, for them to learn at that age. You think about that life lesson now, to go through what they went through, to just get basically humiliated for the first 17 games. We might be like 16-12 since then, you know, but more importantly, we're 10-2 in the last 12. So that's really what we're trying to teach them, whether it's adversity or prosperity, just to stay on the process. You know, goals plus execution equals outcome. That's it. Just stay on the execution. A lot of people talk about goals. A lot of people want to talk about the outcome, but nobody wants to stay in the day-to-day grind of the process, and that's what we're trying to teach them.
Coach, you talked last week about how it was more difficult to teach dealing with prosperity than it was to deal with adversity. How do you work that in week after week? How difficult does it get?
Just right in this room. You know, that's the first thing I started with today. And really, if you can concentrate on yourself and improving yourself fundamentally, and then obviously as a unit or as a position, that helps too. Even in the game the other night, we really don't talk about the score, whether we were up or down. We just talk about playing each play and playing 6 seconds at a time. And, you know, that's kind of who we are right now. Hopefully they can continue to do that. But some coaches don't address it. You know, I've been in some locker rooms where they don't address it. I just feel like we need to address it on a daily basis, especially since it's the first time through. We may feel differently. We only have 6 senior starters. Hopefully we'll be in a situation similar to this next year. But that's what we're going to try to continue to teach them.
Talk about this week's matchup, Coach, please.
Well, this is a good football team. You know, I was talking to the team this morning about this is, you know, one of the teams in the league that has beaten us 2 out of the last 3 years. And they are playing with incredible passion on defense. They really run to the ball well. You know, they scored 41 points on our defense a year ago, which not many people did. You know, I think this year they're number 1 in sacks. They rank amongst the best in the country in sacks and TFLs. They're ranked ahead of us in pass offense and total. I mean, I can go on and on. They're doing a nice job, and Doug Martin's one of the best coaches in the league. And their kids are hungry right now. You know, they wanted to. They set the goal of finishing 7-5 and going to a bowl game. And you know, that's what their belief is right now. So we're gonna have our hands full on both sides of the ball, and then their kicking game is excellent too. They have an excellent punter, and you know, they're doing a lot of nice things on offense and defense. So it's going to be quite a challenge for us on Saturday.
Coach, off that, I'm sure you see the big picture, obviously you're ball eligible and everything. But how do you keep your team focused on this game, the task at hand, which is this week?
Well, you know, the scenarios, you know, the bowl scenarios or the conference scenarios and all that talk, none of it will help us. You know, it's all poison. So, you know, I'm probably not a good interview right now because I'm not really interested. And again, we get more emails now and more notes and everything, but you know, we needed the emails when we were, you know, 1-16 and losing by 30 and playing with 60 scholarship kids. You know, that's when we needed the emails and everything. That's when we needed people to support us. So right now, you know, our guys, they want to just focus. They want to focus stay focused on the present moment, and it's a challenge. But but hopefully have the right attitude. I think, Mike, for the first time, I think we have leadership, like really strong leadership, and hopefully they'll continue to keep us focused.
Coach, what would be the keys to winning this game on Saturday?
Well, we got to block, and I don't want to sound too obvious, but we have to block them. There's a lot of teams that aren't blocking them. They beat Ohio pretty good in Western. They beat those two teams that, we've always, we're 1-1 against Ohio, and Ohio was always a big, strong, physical team. And you could say the last 3 or 4 years, they were the best running team in the league on our side. You could say the same about Western on the other side. And this team took care of both those guys, which has us concerned. I think they had Ohio to minus yards rushing. So they're not only quick, they bring a lot of different zone pressures, now a little bit more man pressure lately, and they have athletes. They can really run on defense. So, and then they're among the best in the country at sacks. They're number 1 in the league and they're amongst the best in the country at sacks and TFL. So we have to block well. Our tailbacks have to do well in blitz pickup. Our tight ends have to do a good job, and our quarterbacks have to make a good decision. We have to play better on special teams, most particularly our coverage units. Again, they have really good athletes back there. And then on defense, the bottom line is this same operation basically scored 41 points on us a year ago. It's another spread team. We haven't been great against the spread here of late, and that's a challenge for our defense. Most particularly when they run the ball well. When they run the ball well and throw the ball, then they have that play action game that comes off of it, which is very difficult to handle. So, it's been a 5-alarm fire for about 2 months. All these games are like that. It's the MAC East. It's down the stretch. It's November. It's everything that we've been talking about, and you got to have your radar on and your antennas up, and you got to play. You got to invest in it emotionally, physically, and mentally, and hopefully our guys will do that.
Coach, and going back to the seniors, normally, when Kentucky won the championship, the coach kind of retired all 4 of the guys
Yeah.
in the jerseys. Have you had a talk with your seniors saying you guys are the ones who basically got us to where we are right now?
Yeah, they know that. To be honest with you, there's going to be time for all that. This senior day is about the seniors, but it's more about the senior support group. I think our guys right now are of the mindset that we can have a senior day and we can start to reflect on that when it's over. And really, I think that's the right way to go about it. Otherwise, the whole week becomes about the seniors and not about Kent State. This is a tough team that's coming in here. A team that's won 3 of the last 4, I believe, and they're trying to go to a bowl game. So they got a lot to play for. We have a lot to play for. But the seniors have met, and I read all of that. I read all of the Patino stuff on the unforgettables, I think is what he called them. How could you not put them in the same class? And if we can finish this off, obviously this will be one of the most dramatic turnarounds. And it's the seniors that are responsible for it. It's the seniors. Make no mistake. It's the seniors. It's not the coaches. It's not the head coach. It's the seniors. And their ability to and be empowered, take ownership, and lead, and then ultimately, protect and perpetuate this culture. And that's why our hat's off to them.
Coach, and sticking with those seniors, Andre Nibble and Alex Joseph, they've really been the anchors of your defense. Can you talk a little bit about their progression from when they were freshmen?
Yeah, well, they didn't really have a work ethic, and they both, like many of these kids, played way before they needed to, or they were good enough to really play that much. And they took a lot of lumps because of it. So that's one of the things that can be difficult when you come into a situation like this, is that the kids experience nothing but failure, and quite often it leads to disenchantment, and it leads to losing begets losing, and sometimes guys quit, and sometimes guys walk away, or sometimes guys get frustrated. That's what's remarkable about this group, is they endured adversity and hardship and stuck in there. That's why it's a human spirit story. It's really not about the seniors. It's the growth of human potential, to be honest with you. So Alex Joseph and Andre Nibble, they're playing their best football right now. Alex Joseph, who for the last 18 months has had foot problems, came in after the Navy game and said, I don't need treatment anymore. It finally feels good. And he's starting to play like that. And Andre's playing his best football right now. And he has for about the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we're getting leadership from them, up on the campus and down in the locker room and in this team meeting room. So